Poland and NATO fighters' jets intercepted multiple Russian drones in Polish airspace overnight. We'll show you the latest as tensions rise. Plus, we have new information from the TCEQ hearing today on the proposed Avina plant. We'll share everything that we know about that situation next. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. We start with news out of Utah, where conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was fatally shot during an event on the campus of Utah Valley University. Witnesses say one shot was heard and Kirk fell back with blood coming from his neck. A suspect is not in custody at this time. Kirk is 31 years old and a father of two. He helped found Turning Point USA, which is a nonprofit for conservative students on college campuses. Now, in the state to right over in Colorado, at least 3 people were shot this afternoon at Evergreen High School, located about 30 miles from Denver. Details are limited at this time, but we do know that those students are now at the hospital. That shooting was initially reported around 1:30 and did take place on school grounds. However, at this time, it is unknown if it took place inside or outside of the building. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. In international news, tensions are rising after Poland and NATO fighter jets shot down 19 Russian drones last night. The drones were targeting neighboring Ukraine. Polish officials called the drones a threat to safety of its citizens. Other European leaders and NATO officials echoed concerns about Russian aggression and security in the region, with NATO chief Mark Rutte saying this is not an isolated incident. Well, there were mass demonstrations in France today, with protesters blocking roads, starting fires, and clashing with police in Paris. This is part of the Block Everything movement, which is showing anger towards the political establishment and planned budget cuts after President Macron obtained Sébastien Lecornu, who a close ally to Macron. Lecornu starts the job today and is the 4th prime minister for France in the past 12 months. And the emergency declaration behind the federal takeover of Washington, D.C. expired today, as the president cannot control the city's police force for more than 30 days. However, the National Guard is expected to remain in the city for the time being. Police say homicides, car thefts, robberies, and violent crime are down since the takeover. So is restaurant traffic, according to Open Table. Nueces County deputies were looking for a man on Buford Street yesterday morning, but the investigation took an unexpected turn when instead of finding him, they found something else, a house full of drugs and hundreds of dollars of cash. Neighborhood News reporter Jada Jenkins spoke with the chief deputy on their discovery.
When we went to the location looking for a wanted subject, we found enough information to lead us to be able to obtain a warrant and then recover the drugs in question.
Investigators recovered meth, cocaine, heroin, and other drugs packed for distribution. No arrests have been made yet, but detectives say charges are expected. The sheriff's office is also reminding neighbors they can report suspicious activity through their free app. And Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order aimed at protecting children from hemp products today. Earlier this year, Abbott had vetoed a complete ban of hemp products. The order comes after the state legislature did not pass a ban on the sale of hemp to those under 21. The order will force DSHS and Texas ABC to ban sales to minors and require an ID when the product is sold, as well as increasing enforcement across the state. It also directs agencies to conduct a study on regulatory model to provide a framework for a system that prevents abuse while preserving access to the products. And we have an update to the story about the proposed Avina ammonia plant we've been following since last year. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality granted a request on Wednesday morning to hold a contested hearing on the proposed plant. Members of the group, concerned citizens of Robstown and Calallen, made the request last year. As we reported, the group has claimed the plant would be hazardous to the community's health. Neighborhood News reporter Stephanie Molina talked to those neighbors who are currently in Austin on how they feel knowing the results.
Relief, because it's been a year and a half of fighting and not knowing how to navigate this path, but whatever we did with the help of a lot of outside groups got us to the right path.
Now, the commission has not yet set a hearing date. We reached out to Avena, but have not heard back. Now let's go ahead and turn it over to weather with meteorologist Stephanie Lauber, who is joining us from the Weather Center. What are we expecting for this week?
Well, today is a very special day. It is September 10th. It's the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. And thankfully, we're not expecting any tropical trouble here in the coastal bend. But let's talk about what's significant about this day. Showing you a climatology of the past 100 years. This is when we typically see the most activity. Today being the tip of that kind of iceberg, as it were. So September 10th, again, let's learn more about why this day is significant. Historically, it's the most active part, but an average season has about 14 named storms. By this point, we usually see about 8 to 9 of those happening, and it also accounts for about 60% of the season's activity to this date. This year's obviously been a little unusual in that things have been fairly quiet. But how quiet? It's rare to have 0 named storms, but it's even more rare to have nothing happening across the basin. Now, up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon, this map was completely empty. But while we're quiet across the Caribbean and the Gulf, there is an area of interest. Low chance of development for another wave coming off the coast of Africa. So we'll talk about what's to come across the tropics and our forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Steph. A fire truck that's being donated to firefighters in Mexico is on a cross-country journey that made a stop in Alice. A nonprofit called Firefighters for Christ is coordinating the delivery of the fire truck. The truck is being relayed from city to city. At each stop, firefighters will drive to the truck to the next city. The truck left Pleasanton just south of San Antonio this morning and arrived at the Alice Fire Department. The next stop in the relay.
So for us, this is a really good way for us to help our neighbors and our brothers and sisters that are firefighters all over the world, really. And so we think it's important. We all have the same goal at the end of the day, and we're here to serve our people, and they're there to serve theirs.
A member of the Alice Fire Department drove the fire truck to Mission this afternoon. From there, it was going to cross the border into Mexico. A well-known Mexican restaurant in Corpus Christi is changing ownership. We're talking about Kiko's Mexican restaurant on Everhart Road. Brett Wenzel, the owner, says the restaurant will keep its same name and the same menu. Wenzel, who currently lives in College Station, says he's been at Kiko's customer for the last 15 years. As for the second Kiko's location on South Alameda Street, it was sold to a different buyer and has since closed. It will reopen under the name The Oasis.
I'm Victoria Valderrama in Sinton with the iconic squirrel known as Agnes. I'll show you how a tradition to change her hat with the seasons continues.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
I'm your Sinton neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama. This is Agnes. She's a squirrel and a landmark here in Sinton. I learned throughout the year she'll wear a bunch of different hats. Neighbors in Sinton know this face and the name. Standing at more than 6 feet tall, you can't miss Agnes.
Every small town has their traditions, and this is kind of a unique one here.
Michael Troutman is a Sinton native. Now he's the school district's athletic director. He says Agnes is a big tradition here.
This has been going on for almost over 20 years, the changing of the hat.
It all started in the 80s when Eleanor Heron opened on Aggie D's selling her famous pralines. Agnes soon became the mascot. Heron passed away in 2024, but the business stayed in the family, and so did Agnes.
Agnes is a girl of all seasons, and she will change her hat, throughout the year. And we change it in the fall, which into a Sinton helmet, in honor of Miss Heron as a proud Sinton graduate, but also in honor of the community.
I spoke with students at Sinton High School about what Agnes means to them. Jolie Langford is a senior and has taken part in the annual changing of the hats since her freshman year.
Definitely bittersweet thinking about how this is my last time getting to do this, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
For sophomore Reese Ellis, she says Agnes represents Sinton pride.
The scroll is a very big part of Sinton, and it's a very big memory for all of us to come together and get to just celebrate it, and it's so fun.
People in this community expect Agnes the squirrel to change her hat again in December, just in time for Christmas. In Sinton, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama for Chris 6 News.
Victoria, thank you. And there was a party atmosphere on the campus of Texas A&M Corpus Christi earlier today, and there was plenty to celebrate. About 600 people gathered at the University Center for the school's annual State of the University Luncheon. Kelly Miller, CEO and president of A&M Corpus Christi, outlined some of the school's many achievements from the past year. She said the school's enrollment, they had their largest graduating class ever this past spring. In athletics, the school has won 25 championships in the past 4 years, and the school is also growing in the research field.
Of course, we continue to do incredible research, innovative research that supports our community, helps to raise the profile of our university, and serves and really solves real-world problems.
A&M Corpus Christi is currently working to become part of the Texas University Fund. That's a state endowment set up to support research. And a couple native to Flower Bluff is set for a screening of a documentary involving local sculptor Kent Oberg. The film was made by Griffin Co., and its owners are Denise and Matthew Thornton. The couple spent 3 years following Oberg, capturing his work all over the world. The movie is set to screen at TAMU CC's Performing Arts Center this Friday, September 12th at 7 p.m.
He has such a great story. He began with a dream and ran into all the problems any artist would run into, but he persevered.
Now we will have all the information on tickets and more about the film on our website, christv.com.
All right, how's the commute looking out there? Because it is a Wednesday hump day afternoon, and SPID doesn't look too bad. So if you're going to be making this commute here soon, you already know we're not doing too bad this way. How about other important parts of that ride home? Well, again, we're used to seeing some activity on 37 at the approach to the crosstown and some of the changes there with the new Harbor Bridge traffic pattern. The intersection of SPID and Crosstown, though, not doing too bad. It's a little stop and go as you approach that interchange, but nothing to really slow you down. Saratoga's behaving today. Not a whole lot of stop and go there either. But as you zoom in closer, the usual culprits. Staples busy all the way back from Weber down to Saratoga. So Staples is going to be a bit of a kind of sluggish commute, we'll call it. Weber also a bit slow out there too. So as you head out, make sure you stay safe and you drive safe. I'll tell you about some rain coming back to the forecast on the other side of this break. Stick around. All right, here's a beautiful view from outside at Snoopy's. Our camera over at Snoopy's is brought to you by CCAC, and what a picture-perfect day. One little cloud out there over the JFK Causeway, and that's it. But we got another nice view for you here. No traffic on the JFK Causeway, but where we do have a lot of cars over on SPID, we're showing you a closer version of that so you can see that things are moving along. So at least that's an improvement. How are conditions doing across your neighborhood? Well, not too bad. More than likely, you are enjoying the weather out there because there are very few places that are truly feeling the heat right now. 92 in Corpus Christi is a lot better than 97 over in Beeville, 95 in Kingsville, 89 over in the Bluff, NAS Corpus Christi, and for those of you down in Hebbronville, 93 degrees, feeling a bit dry and steamy out there. We've got east winds once again today, but we're starting to see a little more of a shift from the east-southeast. So a little warmth in the forecast for today, but plenty of sunshine out there with just a couple of clouds. So let's take a look at the overall picture in terms of our wind. Not seeing a whole lot of breeziness out there, but as we get inland, we're starting to see those wind speeds drop off a little bit. We're not going to see those disrespectful winds that we've missed out on for a while coming back to the forecast per se, but our winds are going to play a big role in the weather changes that we're expecting. Number one, as we start to see that southeast direction come back to the mix, humidity is going to be on the way up as we head on into Thursday and Friday. So this isn't the worst thing in the world. It may not be the most comfortable, but having water in the air is a really good way to get rain in the forecast. And then as we head on to next week, we're going to see a little bit less of that. But Monday, the spike, if we were to continue this graph right here, you'd probably see that go up more toward the oppressive category, and that will bring more rain chances, so we hope, for next week. That's still a few days out. So let's talk about what's in the near term. Friday morning is probably going to be a pretty wet commute. It is looking like as we go to bed on Thursday, we're going to have some soothing rain sounds that will come in for the morning commute to wake us up. So you might need the wipers for Friday morning. This is a target that our weather guidance models are starting to really zero in on for some showers to move into the mix, and then your Friday night plans will be okay. That doesn't mean Friday morning is the only opportunity for rain, but it's probably going to be our best chance for showers. Looking at the big weather pictures, not much here. There are a few showers way inland by Zapata County, but that's really it. Our little front down to the south, still hanging out, still trending some showers over the Gulf. Not doing a whole lot for us, though, so we're going to need some help from upstairs in the atmosphere to help churn out some of those showers. When I think we might need to be ready to anticipate rain, maybe tomorrow evening, early evening time frame, we might be able to churn a few showers out, but for the most part, Thursday probably won't be a very rainy situation for a lot of people. We're going to have to wait until Friday morning. So the overnight from Thursday into Friday will be our next best chance of rain. You'll notice that temperatures heading into Friday morning, they're starting off warm now, but if we get some rain in the mix, that could drop our temperatures a bit more too. Either way, the rainy start will kind of tame the heat as we head on into Friday afternoon, a high of 92 degrees. And as I mentioned, Friday night plans are looking great, as well as the weekend. Something else that looks even better is another opportunity for rainfall next week. I think the rain will pick up on Monday night and kind of give us a couple of isolated chances here and there for Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
With school back in session and fall sports underway, parents in particular may be looking for affordable but convenient meal options. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese explains why meal kits may be worth a second look so you don't waste your money.
Do you ever cook with meal kits? Well, a new survey finds a lot of people are hesitant to try kits like Blue Apron or HelloFresh because they think they're too expensive. But if you find yourself regularly turning to restaurants and takeout food for your dinner, well, meal kits could be your secret to save money. Megan Haig enjoys shopping for fresh meats and vegetables.
I love to cook,
but she admits kits and prepared meals can be a real time saver.
It's great when places have healthy options or like nutritious, like nutrient dense options that are take and bake.
HelloFresh, Home Chef, and Blue Apron make up a small sample of meal delivery services that send ingredients and recipes right to your home. No grocery store required. But in a recent survey by CNET, most shoppers haven't tried them, saying the cost is holding them back. Surprisingly, though, meal kit costs haven't risen at the same rate as groceries. The site found a serving from Blue Apron was $11 compared to $9.75 at the grocery store for the same ingredients. HelloFresh was $9 per serving compared to $6.55 at the grocery store.
Yes, it is cheaper to go to the grocery store to make that meal, but we also have to think about the time aspect of it. Going to the store, coming home, prepping those ingredients, it really can start to take a toll and add up.
CNET's Daisha Milden says meal kits really save money compared to dining out.
Just thinking about how much money you may spend a few times a week grabbing lunch out or even ordering lunch in.
They also cut down on food waste by sending only necessary ingredients. So if you overspend on dining out or need help with food prep,
I know tons of people who don't have time or just can't do it, and so they need something like that.
Consider giving meal kits a try so you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
So how much would you pay for a ticket to the FIFA World Cup next summer? Well, the lottery is now open, and coming up next, we'll show you what the price is and how you can get a ticket.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Now, the first phase of FIFA World Cup tickets went on sale today. The Visa pre-sale draw opened today for qualifying Visa card holders and will remain open until next Friday. Successful applicants will be given a date and time slot to try and purchase tickets in October. Tickets start at $60 for group stage matches, though each prices reach up to $1,000. Additional ticket draws will be available later that month.
It's exciting stuff. I would love to take my dad to a FIFA match. I took him once to an MLS match, and that was exciting enough. It's a lot of energy. But
I'm trying to get into it, but I have not been successful yet. So if you do, let me know. Yeah.
Sharing is caring. If you have some tips, let us know. But here's a tip for you. Get ready for a little more rainfall. I know this is a very sensitive subject. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but as long as we have repeat opportunities for this rain and it comes through for some neighborhoods eventually, we'll get everyone on board. So expect those showers to come in late tomorrow. Bulk of it will be on Friday morning. Plan ahead.
Thank you so much. We'll see you here at 6 o'clock.
Bye.